This tutorial covers the MIDI mixer panel. Each channel can either be assigned to an internal synth or external hardware, so that you can use a combination of both for the Vortex output. Sounds are selected from this page using the Program Change section using the standard MSB, LSB and Program Change number. The green question mark if clicked and held will bring up a quick reference screen, describing the functions of each setting. The top line of lights shows whether a sequence is currently soloed using the Solo button on the sequencer page. The red button will instantly unsolo everything. The internal button will switch on the internal synth for a channel. When this is enabled, all controls will manipulate the internal synth. The button to the left of internal is a Set All button and will set all buttons to whatever state the first button is set to. The light to the right of the number shows whether the sequence for that channel is currently playing. The yellow button on the enabled row will enable the volume knobs when using an external MIDI instrument. Note that when using internal synths these controls are always used. The Enable exists to give you the option of setting volumes and pans on the hardware instrument if that is what you wish. The red button is used to mute the channel and the green button is used to solo the channel. This differs from the sequencer solo because it will solo the entire channel, whereas the other solo works on just the current sequencer. This is useful if multiple sequencers were using the same MIDI channel. The volume knob will set the volume level using CC7, and the pan sets the pan amount using CC10. CC3 and CC4 are assignable knobs which can be assigned to any CC numbers using the CC3 and CC4 lists at the bottom of the page. When used, these values will override whatever values the end device is currently using. The pitch bend mod wheel and aftertouch buttons determine whether this channel will receive these messages from your controller keyboard. Program change controls can be enabled by this button. If the channel is using the internal synth, this button has no effect as these controls will always be used to select the sound the internal synth is using. The standard way of selecting sounds on external media devices has always been to use the MSB and LSB in combination to select the bank, and use the program value to select which preset. If you have not used external media equipment, this may be unfamiliar to you. Vortex uses this same system for selecting sounds for the internal synths so that compatibility with external hardware can be maintained. So to select an internal sound, first use the MSB to decide which type of sound you want. 0 is instruments and 1 is kits. Once you have chosen, you can then select the bank from the LSB menu. Now you will have a bank of 128 instruments available from the program setting. The Label button is an optional label which can be useful when using external hardware so that you can show which type of sound the channel is using. A great feature is that if you click on the right side of the program list whilst holding the Shift key, you can randomize the program, which can be an inspirational way of finding the sound that works whilst a sequence is playing. The blue button will randomize all programs. The green button sets the bank to a default state, which sets a combination of kits and instruments, which creates a great starting point for working on a new preset.